One of the most persons who is the most pained in the whole of this palace brouhaha has actually been none other but Olori Mariam. Yes, Olori Mariam has actually been the most pained human being in the whole of the palace. And that is because she feels entitled. She feels that she has actually put in so much to be treated as if she's a nobody. Hello, everyone, and welcome to D&Z TV, the place where we give you up-to-date information of everything happening in the palace of the ooni of Ife and also the entertainment industry at large. We give you up-to-date information of everything happening, and the best place to get all of this information is here, D&Z TV. So what are you waiting for? Go subscribe to the channel, click on the notification button, comment, like, and share our videos so that when we give you up-to-date information, you will be the first to get all of them. So it is actually not out of place when we begin to tell you that Olori Mariam is very, very vexed and is feeling highly cheated, that she has actually put in so much into the palace that she should not be taken seriously. She is now of the opinion that the Ooni thinks she is a fool because the Ooni has not been giving her accolades the way she deserves. She feels that she deserves more than she is getting. And when people begin to feel so much entitled, when people begin to feel so much that they've put in so much and they are not getting anything in return, you now realize that of a truth, problem is brewing. Yes, problem is brewing because people actually want to remain relevant. People actually want to remain known. People actually want to remain seen. People actually want to remain very pivotal in the scheme of things, especially as it concerns the palace. But right now, the Ooni is actually focusing on other important things, as Miriam consistently has been thinking that she is not being carried along properly as normally she should. Now, if you put into consideration now what has been happening in the palace for some time, you could actually agree with me that the Ooni seems not to be paying so much attention to Olori Mariam. Where Ooni's mind is in other more important things. There are more important things that are taking the Ooni's attention. So Miriam bringing her own issue now to play on board is actually not really adding any value to what is happening in the palace. With the things that have been happening in the palace, people have been having different notions. People have been having different ideas. People have been having different expressions to as what to do and how to do it. But all the same, it is still very challenging to note that with the difficulty that is coming, there are actually instances that the Ooni actually feels that Miriam is overstepping her bounds. Miriam consistently looks down on the Ooni, not making the Ooni to realize that he is actually the head of the family. People have been having different forms of notion, trying to get involved and trying to make things happen the way it should be. But in as much as they always try, in as much as they've always been putting efforts and making things to happen, she, on the other hand, has only been on the side of making it look very ignorant. Because if you want to look at it very well, the Ooni knows what he wants. I mean, there is nothing that the Ooni has done that is constitutionally wrong for him to do. Now, by the culture of Ile Ife, the Ooni of Ife is expected by culture to marry more than one wife. That is the culture. So when the ooni now wants to remain in the practice of what his forefathers have been doing, people now want to take offense to this. And taking offense to it the way it has been seeming is something that is logically now bringing issues not to work the way they should work. So when you now look at it from all walks of life, you will understand and know that of a truth, things can actually get better. But with the narcissist nature of Queen Olori Mariam, always trying to get involved in things that do not concern her, there's every likelihood that Ooni will always get a little bit farther from her. Ooni gets farther from her because she just feels that she owes, that everybody else owes her the duty to remain relevant. But on the whole, um, you win integrity, you win respect. People, you get to a point in time in your life where people will just naturally want to get close to you, unlike in situations and circumstances where it is you that will always try to make things happen. But with the way Miriam is going, it is actually beginning to look a little bit difficult, that in as much as she's pushing, she's trying, she is not really doing enough. And when she's not really doing enough, as she should naturally do, she is bound to have a lot of issues and negativities plying her out. So right about now, we are of the opinion that Naomi should tactically be careful with how she works with Miriam, because Miriam is always planning, pushing, and making advances to see that he drags Naomi to a point of no return. And when this continues to happen for a very long time, the tendency of not getting it right will definitely and always be there. So, my people, it is very, very key and important to note that no matter what happens, no matter how difficult it is, Naomi is definitely going to come out and make a reasonable impact in the scheme of things and push boundaries to make it very, very relevant that in all of this, she needs to respect Naomi, because Naomi always respects her.